and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking all about brows. I've started kind of a new series on my channel called Tip Tuesday, and I'm going to help you guys out with whatever you want me to teach you. So a lot of you guys asked about brows. I think brows are a super important part of any look because they really frame your face, they give you expression, and they really just complete a look no matter what. And I'm going to show you guys today how I like to fill in mine and how I really feel they complement my look. I've gone through many different brow phases, and I think that this one's my favorite so far. I've gotten shades that are way too dark for me, that make me look a lot older, that make my face look a lot harsher, and just does not look good at all. And I'm gonna give you guys tips on how you can match yourself as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, don't forget to like it and subscribe and share with all your friends that wanna know about brows. Leave your suggestions for next week's tip down below, and I'll be reading through them. And if you guys would like to see how I fill in my brows and learn a few tips, then please keep watching. So a lot of you guys had asked me, how do I match my brows perfectly to my hair? Should I go lighter or darker? What should I do? So what I have found is going for a shade that is just a little bit darker than your brows, just very slightly, is the best. For instance, mine are so gray right now and very cool toned that if I went in with a shade that's exactly the same color, it would just look very gray, and I typically don't like that look. If you go for something that is way too dark, it's gonna look very intense, and it's gonna really draw a lot of attention to those brows and not really the rest of your makeup. You really want your brows to emphasize your makeup and your face and really frame your face, but you don't want them to take away from your look completely. I know this because I actually, for a very long time, was using like a really dark color, almost like black, and it looked awful. Everybody is different when it comes to their brows. Some people like them to be fluffy and very like bushy looking. Some people like them to be very slick and arched. And then some people like them to be very natural and kind of like a barely there type brow look. For me, I really like the bushy, feathery type of brows. I like them to come a little bit further in because it makes my nose look thinner. Now I'm gonna give you guys a closer look at my brows. I have had my brows waxed. At a very young age, I used to get them done all the time when I was probably like 15. And since then, they've kind of stayed the same. I get a little bit of regrowth around the arch area. If you have colored hair, like kind of like a funky color, similar to what I'm wearing right now, you can go in with something that is a little bit ashy that matches pretty much any hair color. So for instance, shade 4 in the Benefit Goof Proof Pencil goes with pretty much any hair color. And I've seen people that are blonde use this color, and I've also seen people that are brunette also use this exact shade. This is an in-between shade, and this is a very safe, universal shade that a lot of people can use and get away with. It just depends on how heavily you apply it. So when you're picking out a color, you need to keep in mind the undertones in your hair. And I would say the undertones in your roots. So look right at your roots, and the color of your root is really what you should be filling in your brows with. I think that looks the best, but you can obviously do whatever you guys would like and what you think looks good. I definitely think that undertones is something that you need to pay attention to when choosing the color that you want for your brows, because this is going to match your brows and complement them without them looking too drastic. Clearly mine are very cool toned. There's no warmth in them at all. They're very gray, and I usually go for a very ashy color to fill them in because even though it is a little bit darker, it's still has the same undertone and blends perfectly. So now I'm going to show you guys how to fill in your brows. When filling in your brows, you really want to comb them into place, and this will kind of set the area that you want to fill in. So because I like my brows to be very bushy, because I feel this really complements my face best, I'm going to be brushing them up and kind of out. And you can already see the difference that that just made. This kind of lifts the eye up, and this one is just kind of straight. Fluff it up. It's going to give more of like a lifted look and really lift your eyes up. So for those of you with really sparse eyebrows and hair doesn't really grow very much, I would recommend using a conditioning primer before applying any brow products. And this one is by Benefit. This is the Bravo Conditioning Primer, and this is nutrient rich, so it's really good for your brows, and it is proven to make your brow hairs grow. So I'm just gonna pump it just once or twice. It has little teeth in the applicator that really comb them into place. I just feel this is really helpful to me when filling in my brows. It kind of guides me where I need to place down product. I'm gonna go in with the Goof Proof Brow Pencil. What I would recommend to you guys is start filling in towards the middle of your brow. You don't want to start at the front because that's going to be way too harsh, and this will really close off your face, and you really want to kind of extend the brow before you move towards the front. So I like to start right in the middle, kind of right before my arch, and I just go ahead and fill that in. And as you can see, I'm just drawing little hairs into the arch. Taking some more of the brow product. So I'm gonna keep moving down the brow with this, and I do like to extend my brow just a little bit, and this just kind of gives my face a little bit more expression. So now that that's filled in, I'm gonna go in with the spoolie end and I'm just gonna comb the color through the brows. And for those of you that do have really sparse areas, using a spoolie is really good for that because it blends it for you and it gives it a really natural hair-like look. So I'm not done with this side just yet. I'm gonna go in and keep on filling in a little bit more. So we're gonna get a little bit more up close and I'm gonna show you guys that I do fill in the arch. I don't really go over the arch too much. I just fill it in very subtly. So what I like to do next is apply a little bit more product to the front of the brow. And because I do lack a natural hairline here, I like to fill that in. And the key to filling in these brows is to keep combing the product through, and this will really blend it really naturally. So now I'm gonna take the excess product that's kind of on the spoolie and I'm just gonna flick the brush up towards the front of the brows. And this is gonna create little hair-like strokes that the spoolie is just kind of making on its own. And this makes it look very kind of bushy and feathery, and it gives it more of a natural look than just going in with the pencil. I'm going to start creating little hairs in the front of my brow. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the spoolie end after I've applied those little hairs and I'm just gonna brush them up again. You can lightly just fill in the bottom area of the brow, really lightly, and then brush again. So once you got them filled in really nicely, I like to go in with the Highbrow by Benefit, and this is just kind of like a cream highlight for your brows, and I just like to go right underneath my brow. I don't pluck my brows at all. I get them waxed and tinted every so often. So to kind of fix those areas that you do see little hairs poking through, you can use this and it really covers them up and makes them not the center of attention. And it also gives you a nice lift to your brows. You can even use it towards the front and this will also make it look really, really sharp and, you know, like you just got them waxed. So the last and final step to the brows, which is my favorite and I feel is very essential, is using a brow gel. Now I love using the Ready Set Brow Gel by Benefit because this has a really amazing brush and the gel is so stiff that even if you have super bushy brows, your brows are not gonna move around. Now I don't have bushy brows, I wish I did, but this gel keeps them in place. My hairs can sometimes move around towards the tail end, so I'm just going to comb the hairs up towards the front of the brow and then slick them back towards the tail end, which is usually what I do when applying the gel. So now that you guys know what I like to use on my brows every day, I'm gonna recommend some drugstore alternatives that I feel are also great options. As for brow pencils, I love the Brow Precise by Maybelline. This has a spoolie on the end. Another really good alternative to the Ready Set Brow Gel by Benefit is the Brow Stylist Plumper by L'Oreal. I was using this in every tutorial and this was kind of a staple for me for a very long time before I found the Ready Set Brow. And this is also one of the best brow gels I've ever tried. They do the same thing essentially. They're both really good and I do feel this one is a great drugstore alternative. I haven't found an alternative to the Bravo Conditioning Primer, but this is definitely worth the money and it really does condition your brows and it's nutrient rich. And remember, if you buy a product from Sephora that doesn't match you in any way and you really don't like it, you can always return it and get a color that you feel suits you best. Once you find the right brow product, it's really hard to let go of it and it becomes something that's like a staple, and that's kind of how I feel about the Goof Proof, so I would recommend that pencil. It's amazing and Benefit has a range of 6 shades. If you want to play it safe and pick a universal color, I would recommend shade 4. This just looks good on almost anyone and it's just a really great universal color. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like it and subscribe and leave any of your suggestions for next Tuesday's tip down below and I will definitely be looking at those. Thank you all for watching today and I will see you all in my next tutorial.